Let's go ahead and go live. Let's see what it is. Ooh, there it is. All right, so are we good? All right. So, welcome to a brand new episode of You Have a Collect Call from. And today we're gonna be live and direct with David Lopez. Jesse has some other things going on. He's facilitating I believe CGA or a group. So right now we're currently waiting for David to call us up, and there it is. Hopefully you guys could hear him and hear me, and if you guys
Call is
can.
now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
James,
David.
what's up, my boy?
Hey, what's up? How's
Yep.
it going?
Hey, it's going. I'm right here posted up, kicking back in my cell. Another day, another dollar, another day, more time served. I guess
Right.
that would be appropriate. Yeah.
Man, that's what's up, man. Hey,
What
how
it
you
is.
how you been? I know you mentioned earlier on when we spoke that Jesse was preoccupied with some other, he was running some groups. I believe you said CGA, so it's only going to be you today.
Nah. Well, he said alternatives to violence.
Oh, okay, AVP.
So there's a AVP. There's a program called Alternatives to Violence Project, and it's a program that was started by the Quakers and some people that there was like an uprising in Sing Sing like back in the 70s, and it trickled over here to California, and Jesse's involved with that. He's a facilitator, so he'll be gone. He'll come back tonight, and then he'll be gone tomorrow too for half the day.
Okay.
That's dedication right there.
There it is. Right, and he's doing it by his, on his own accord. It's not like he's getting any times off or he's winning any brownie points or anything like that. He sees.
Now they take they used to give us rack credits for those and like milestone credits, which would be like a week off and all that, but we don't care about those.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it doesn't affect us, and we do them. We try to rotate. Sometimes we get chosen to facilitate the workshops together, but a lot of times it'll just be one or the other, And so it's just time. It's just time this weekend.
All right. So for anybody that's tuning in on TikTok or YouTube, if you guys could let me know if you could hear both of us. It's Marlene. How's it going? Marlene just came in right now. I see Yenny right there. I see your picture up in the top. So highly appreciate for you guys that are tuning in. Let me see. Marlene writes she could hear me. Hopefully you guys could hear David when he starts talking, and you could just go ahead and confirm that for me, Marlene, when you get a chance. I highly appreciate it.
Hey, that's cool, Marlene. I'm glad you're there. I don't know who's that, Yenny or something like that?
Yenny,
I'm not sure what you said right now, but, I send my respects to you, too. Thank you for tuning in.
That's
I don't recall seeing that name before.
You know what?
I'm usually out here with my H2s.
Yeah, she tunes in. She tunes in a lot. She doesn't pop up on the chat or she doesn't drop any comments, but I do see her, pop in, here and there. Let me see. Starlight, we just got Starlight right there. And Marlene, she's also confirming that she can hear you. And then we got Big Chomps, and he writes, "What up, Chomps? Hey, gracias, highly appreciate the comment."
Yep, what's cracking?
That's right.
Send my salutes to all you guys on this Saturday evening. Go ahead.
We got Vicky, Maria, and Johnny. She writes hi on the chat. We also got Stephanie. She writes hello from Iowa. Whoa, Iowa, that's up there right there. And let me see. We got Marlene. Man, Marlene, that's right. Hey, Marlene, she's a real one right there. She's confirming that she can hear us on both YouTube and TikTok. So highly appreciate. My hats off to Marlene for doing that.
That's Team Gary right there. But, I feel like even though, that's Gary's cousin and stuff, I feel a lot of support coming from Marlene, just being here, just supporting us, being a part of our lives and our journey, so it's different. I feel like Marlene is also like on our team as well. We're very lucky to have you on this chat and all you guys that tune in that follow our journey too. For those of you that don't know me, my name is David Isaac Lopez. I am serving life in prison for 187 that I committed in 2010. My ace deuce, Jesse, is usually on here too. That's Jesse Nava, but he's at a workshop right now giving back to his community. Jesse is somebody he's my cellie, so we both tap in and we try to be of service to you guys as well. If there's anything you guys need to know about prison, we don't glorify prison. We don't bash nobody for where they're at in their politics. If you're mainline, if you're SMY, if you're not designated, I don't care about none of that stuff. All I want to do is just make the world a better place. I've caused a lot of shit for a long time, and now I just do the opposite. That's what it is. That's my mission in life. Everything I did before, do the opposite, and I'm thriving.
That's right, and it's not easy, from doing a complete, 380, going from that and going to this now, going to school and interacting with other individuals, to try to help them, get on the right track is not easy, especially when you're going against the norm and peer pressure and caring about what people think about you. So that's huge. That's huge that you're doing that. Let me see. We comment from Arlene. She writes, "Always support you guys. I do got favorites though. Yeah. No lie, David or laughing out loud. David and Jesse are some of my favorites that come on the show. Felipe too. That's Capricorn. Felipe.
Felipe the Capricorn. Yep. Oh man. Hey, I can't let this go right now. Hold on. Hold the hell up. Hey, Spence on the vent. Felipe. Felipe's my neighbor. Hey, homie, I just heard some crazy shit right now on the podcast right now, and I'm sorry, I gotta call you.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Hey, for those of you that don't know, Felipe is my neighbor, and we do communicate on events right here. We can hear voices through the ventilation system, and right now I heard that Felipe the Capricorn happens to be my neighbor. Felipe, are you a Capricorn, Felipe? And what? I know your birthday's in December. I know it's coming up real soon. Hey, James feels it, but what about all the listeners and the viewers? You don't send your love to them? What about Marlene, man? She was just speaking highly of you. Hey, can you guys hear him?
Yeah. Hey, tell Felipe I said Gary's ears are all perked up right now. He heard his name, Marlene, and his ears are just up like a Doberman.
She said, Jane said that Gary's ears right now are all perked up right now. Yep. Hey, I just have to ask you, Felipe, what's up with this Felipe the Capricorn business? Hey, that's what I do best. Nah, that's cool, Felipe. I just wanted to. That's cool. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah, we can hear him loud and clear over there.
That's cool. All right, Felipe. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they can. Yeah, because James said he can hear you. He can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
We're talking on the fan. I got the fan blowing in my face while I'm talking.
That's cool.
He has the best way.
My love, go ahead and take your nap. Oh, he said that he's. That's cool. All right, Felipe. Talk to you later, my boy. Yep.
Gracias.
Gracias on the vent. No, he said that he's got the vent blowing in his face because it's getting colder in here right now.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people do is we block off our vents with cardboard, and the air still has to flow. So if I was to block my vent and Felipe was to block his, and downstairs we share ventilation with downstairs also, so one of their vents is going to blow like a turbine.
They're going to wake up all cold in the middle of the night.
Oh man, it happens to me because I've been leaving it open, and like last night I woke up and I was like, damn, it was cold in here last night. Hey, everybody blocked their vent.
We just got a comment from let me see from YA Baby 1 checking in to say Cubo soy Michael de Santana OC.
That's cool. Hey, Semi's Michael. Yep. Yeah. I've been down with a lot of people from Santana. Yep.
I believe that Michael de Santana. I believe he knows you and Jesse before. I know he normally pops up on TikTok if I'm not mistaken.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've both been around, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if we crossed paths with him in the past. Um, we were around a lot of movers and shakers, so you know. But
Yeah.
that's cool. He's out there. He's doing good, you know, and he's checking in.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
how you been, man? How you
Uh,
been doing?
I've been
What's
good.
been going on with you?
I just been relaxing. I really haven't been on that many phone calls and whatnot. Like today, my daughter, she had me hostage outside. We were doing some sidewalk chalk painting. I was over there looking like I'm living in the
Yeah.
future. I have this VR headset, and I recently downloaded this
Uh-huh.
app that it helps you like draw like on big canvases. So I had a sketch of hopscotch. So I was out in the driveway. I'm pretty sure people
Uh-huh.
were probably like driving by
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
people were probably driving by when they were looking at me and probably recording me. Like, look at this fool out here with his VR headset, like acting like he's in like Demolition Man. And I was drawing a hopscotch, and my daughter was all happy. So I just been doing like a lot of spending time with my family, during the holidays, and it's cool.
Looking like Marty McFly, huh, from Back to the Future, with a big old brocha.
Something like that, yeah. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody was recording me and I go viral. I'm like, damn, they got me. Like Fool's Gone
They
Wild.
got you. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. VR Cholo, that's your freaking freedom handle.
Man, we just got a
Yep,
comment
that's
from
funny.
from YA Baby One here with, yeah, that's me, brother.
That's cool, man. Yeah, we send our love, man. Jesse's not here right now. He's over at a workshop. But yeah, I'll send your love to him too. That's cool.
For sure, for sure. Hey, so for today,
Yep.
for today's topic, I wanted to get into how do you file an appeal to get back into court? Because the other day I was on a call with Felipe and he brought that up, and there was a lot of interest on how people are able to get back into court, and some of the comments that I did get was that they don't know where to start, like they don't know what to do, or they can't afford a lawyer. And I was kind of, I was asking Felipe to give me a breakdown of how he was able to get back into court. So like, man, this will be a good topic, for David, to throw his 2 cents in, to possibly,
Cool.
give some hope to, family members or people that are incarcerated, to get them back into court, and possibly, get resentenced, or get some enhancements taken off, or, something positive maybe will come out of it.
That's cool. I'm glad you asked because I do have a lot of input on that. I do work in the law library here, and so I'm in the trenches when it comes to stuff like that. I do help a lot of people, and so there's several ways that you can get back into court. There's one, a law changes, and you qualify for it, and it's done automatically. There's sometimes where you slip through the cracks. For instance, right, I was sentenced to 42 years to life. In 2015, I got sentenced. I got 15 years to life for the 187. It was a second degree. And then I got a consecutive 25 to life stacked on top of it for use of a firearm, in the commission of a 187. So that was a double. Then the DA wasn't happy with that because the DA, she couldn't get me on nothing that would have got me LWOP, but I was a person at that time that they wanted to keep off the streets for good. So she wasn't happy that I got a second degree because she was shooting for first. So I came to prison before for 2 nonviolent offenses, which means that I had 2 prior prisons. That was the times where they would send you to prison for pretty much anything. So they gave me 2 years on top of the 40 years. So that's why my total sentence was 42 years to life. In 2022, 2023, I think it was like 2022, they passed SB 483. So 483, what that did is it eliminated 1-year enhancements. So because they did that and they stacked those 2 years on top of me, they had to resentence my entire case. They had to resentence my entire case because I have it's no longer an applicable sentence because of the 2 years. So when they did that, every law that had passed that was not retroactive suddenly applied to me because I'm being sentenced just like as if I had been convicted recently. So now there's a bill. there's several things that apply to me. There was one that was AB 620. I want to say if it was assembly. No, yeah, it was AB, which is an Assembly Bill 620, which says that on firearm enhancements, the judge has the discretion to.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
The judge has the discretion to strike the enhancement in the interest of justice. Before, when I got sentenced, it was a mandatory thing that was attached to the second degree 187. So they had to sentence me as is. Now there's going to be an entire hearing just on that, and I could present mitigating factors, which are factors that are in my benefit, positive factors that can have the judge reduce that sentence or eliminate that enhancement altogether. So that's one thing. That's how I got in. Now, James, I'm going to call back because I got some other information.
Okay, for sure. We'll be waiting. All right, so let me get back to the comments over here. So from YA Baby 1, I just got laid off after 8 years. I've never even got laid off in prison, and I worked there for 39 years. Marlene VR Cholo. Let me see right here. And then Marlene wrote, YA Baby, damn, that's tough. Sorry to hear that. And then YA Baby wrote, yeah. YA Baby 1, Marlene, for every door closed, God opens another one. Okay, let me see.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, so that's if you get into court automatically. Okay, so they had to pull my case. CDCR was required to send every single person. They had to send to the county of commitment a list of all the people that had 2-year prior prisons. So once I got back into the county, once I got back into the court, I was appointed an attorney, and the attorney it's the attorney's job to find out what I qualify for before I'm resentenced. So if you have a loved one that's going through something like this and is back into court, do your research, because now attorneys, look, I'm not going to say, well, they're all, this or that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that sometimes accidents happen. Sometimes things get overlooked. Sometimes they may not be, I closed my door now. Sometimes they may not be informed in time, and they might move forward with your case, and that could cause a lot of issues and delays if something pops up later that they have to take a look at. So understand, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you heard somebody say must be nice?
yeah.
Yeah. It's because I didn't go to dinner right now. Yeah, I closed my door,
Yeah.
So it's funny you can hear that,
Yeah. Everything be coming through.
Yep. So let me tell you this. If, let's say, right, that's under my circumstances, right?
Yeah.
Where I qualified for something. So there's a bill, it's called AB 600. AB 600 could be the lifesaver for somebody that is sentenced already and lost all their appeals and they have no action. AB 600, right? That could be your ticket back into court.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It's a lot of door slamming out here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So AB 600 though, you can get it from the law library. It's your law library, whatever institution you're in. You can go in there and you can request AB 600. If you can't get it from the law library, you can probably write the San Quentin Law Office, and they'll send you an application for AB 600. So AB 600, I don't have a copy of it with me, but there's boxes that apply to AB 600, right? It's a request for resentencing. Now, on the bottom of AB 600, the box that most applies to people that don't qualify for any law right now, it's other. So you go on the form. On the bottom of the form, it says some things that really nobody qualifies for right now. I think it has to do with some youth offenders, or there's a few people that qualify, and I'm sure that they'll know if they qualify for that. But there's a box that says other. You check that box, and you write a description of what that is. And so you can cite other laws. You can cite the Racial Justice Act. That's big right there. The Racial Justice Act is something that's getting a lot of people back in the court right now, because if they use discriminatory language during any time of your proceedings, you can get back in the court. On my case, they use discriminatory language. They call me by my ex-gang moniker, my alias. They called me that through my whole trial, and I wasn't fighting a gang case, so that's prejudicial to the jury right there. Calling me as a gang member when I'm not even fighting a gang case. They should have called me by my first name, my last name, and nobody that was involved with my case called me by my ex-gang name. So that was something that was introduced by the prosecution. They made a mistake there. And so that's delaying my resentencing right now, because they have to do a full investigation on why they used that term and if it was discriminatory. And so that could apply to one of your loved ones. If they call them a homie, sometimes they have gang experts. They have gang experts that come on the stand, and they're gonna prejudice the crap out of you. It's just what it is, man. They're gonna say things that are allowed into your trial because they want to paint a picture to the jury. Well, some of those things, they can have cultural implications, and they're not supposed to do that. So if that happened, you can mark that. You can mark a Racial Justice Act, and you can also request to get an attorney appointed to you, and that can get you back in the court, get you in front of a judge. And look, if you ain't got nothing left, that's a light at the end of the tunnel right there, possibly. You can't give up hope. There's something else that passed. It's called 1170 D1. 1170 D1. It's a change. It's a change in the California Penal Code. It says that if you're showing positive programming, if you have things that are showing that you're a different person than you were before, education, programs, clean time, mentoring others, facilitating groups, the institution can actually recommend you for resentencing under 1170 D1. And if I was in a situation where I had nothing going on, I would go to AB 600. I would mark other, and I would cite 1170 D1. D1 is 1170 D1. Yeah, I would cite it. And explain why. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you something, David. So in your case, at what age was it that you caught your case?
29.
So 29. So you wouldn't be eligible for the youthful offender.
No.
Okay. So you from what you said earlier on was that you didn't file any paperwork. The CDCR ended up sending your case over to back to the court that you got sentenced out of, and then that's how you were able to get back into court. Okay.
Yeah, a public defender was assigned to my case, and I knew that they got the information because the public defender's office wrote me a letter and told me that they were appointed to be my attorney. And when I talked to the attorney, they said, "Look, man, that we're going to bring everything that we can to try to help you." They weren't opposed to helping me. I haven't had a negative experience with them. Yes, the process is slow, but I mean, I got life, man. It's not something that needs to happen overnight. Let them do what they got to do. Let them find the information. I'm not going to rush them. I'm not going to give them a hard time, and I'm going to continue to do my part, which is I'm going to continue programming positively. I'm not going to get involved in gang activity. I'm not going to get involved with drugs and things like that. I'm not going to get into issues with staff and things. I don't do those things. That's not who I am today. So I'm also educating myself. I'm educating myself. I'll have several college degrees locked in um, by next year, and I should be starting San Diego State University for my bachelor's degree in the fall 2025. So it's something that I'm going to bring those things to the court. The court will pay attention to those things. If you're saying, well, I'm not the same person that I was all those years ago in 2010 when I committed, the 187, I'm saying, well, that's not who I am today. Well, the judge is going to ask, show me, who are you today? Why should I resentence you? Why should I possibly put my reputation on the line to make a change to your sentence? What do you have of substance? Well, I have many things of substance. I have a pattern of consistency. It's me. I have an obvious track record of negative activity in prison, and you can tell when something happened specifically. Well, what was your aha moment? Well, you can document it because I was constantly getting 115s. I was constantly involved with gang activity. I was constantly involved with violence. I had an indeterminate shoe term. I was doing things to make this place a dangerous place, and that was well documented. It shows the progression into that behavior. But it also shows, well, what made you want to change? You don't just go from Z back to A, because we're clearly seeing you went from A to Z, but you don't just shoot back in the other direction. What was your aha moment? What was your moment of conviction? How did it happen? And so you have to be able to articulate that. Well, my moment of conviction happened. Well, I had two guys on me, they got me from behind.
Ooh. There wasn't any rice involved in there, right, David?
There was no rice. They weren't running a train, James. They weren't running a train, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. It was out on the yard in the open. It wasn't in a laundry room. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, two guys didn't get me from behind in one of them steamy showers. No. That's not what happened, James.
Yeah. My apologies. I had to. I just couldn't help myself on that one.
And you have to. I would think otherwise if you didn't. Was there rice involved? And who said there wasn't rice involved? Who said?
Miss Vettel's laughing. She's put little laughing emojis right there.
Hey, Miss Vettel, what's up? Yep. So, that's what it is. But yeah, that's what happened. So when they ask, well, why did you change? Well, a lot of that decision was made for me when I didn't know how to change. I didn't even know that I was ready to change. I just know that when the fist started flying, I was on a 180 level 4 yard, which is a dangerous yard. I was on a 180. It didn't happen on freaking level 2 yard, level 3 yard. This was a 180 level 4. This was a violent war zone. And when I had two members of my own gang sneak up from behind for, to put hands on me, I felt relief when that happened. I didn't feel fear. I felt like when it was happening, I was, I'm a pretty healthy dude. I'm not, they weren't doing nothing other than superficial damage to me. Thank God, because a lot of people die on those yards in those same circumstances. And when it was happening, I was feeling freedom. I was feeling like chains were getting removed from my body. And it's a crazy feeling while it's happening. It could have been because I was in a concussion. But, yeah, loss of blood. But I felt like I was free, man. I was so happy. I was thinking about the future, and it was crazy because I was still living in the present. And the blocks were flying. There was those little those canisters were exploding all around me. The tower was shooting. It's like I said, it's an active prison yard. On the 180 level 4, they don't play. If there's a 2-on-1, they're gonna unload on you. And when all those things were happening, and I could feel the blocks zipping by me, I could feel the burning from the smoke on me. From that, they got this exploding it's like tear gas powder. I don't know what the hell it is, but it gets on you. Mm-hmm. And when that was happening, and I can feel the zipping of the shots. I can hear them firing. I don't know if they're live rounds. I don't know what's happening. I just know that I'm thinking about the future. Like, I can't believe this is over. and I was thinking like, man, I can't believe that this is happening to me, and I can't believe it's over, and I was just a lot of things were running through my mind. So when I went to the hole because they took me, after that happened, they took me to the hole to find out what was happening for investigation. So I'm in there and I'm single cell. It's just me. It's just me. And me and my thoughts.
Hey, David.
Thinking, man. Yeah.
Let me ask you something. So, when this incident was going down, was it because you were parting ways with your former gang, or was it because what was the reason behind them jumping on you?
Oh, I was definitely parting ways with my former gang. That's no doubt. But it was because I had made a move on somebody. The way that I was before, I was take control by force. That was the kind of person that I was, and I used to use drugs to.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
So my method of operation was basically get to the yard.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Get to the yard, find a victim, harm that person, and as soon as I'm done with that, set up a runner, pull in my dope, and start feeding drugs to people so that they can basically do my bidding and set up shop. That's what it was. And anybody that wasn't a part of that, I would have them removed. I would have them assaulted. I would have them hurt. And so I'll get back to this right now.
Okay, for sure.
Call you back.
Okay, all right. So I see a message from Ms. Vero and from Big Chomps right now. When David calls back, I'll go ahead and read those messages off right now. Ms. Vero wrote, let me see, their days are coming, and then Big Chomps wrote, state is much easier than the feds to get resentenced. I was fighting 42 life, did 22 years in the feds. Yeah, the feds, from what I hear, they definitely don't play. They'll definitely break you off with that time right there. All right, and he's calling back. Let me pick this up here.
This call is now being recorded.
Es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, David. I have two comments that I want to read off to you. The first comment is from Ms. Vero 559, and she writes, "Their days are coming," and that was referring to when you were speaking about coming home, and then
that's cool. I appreciate that.
We also had a comment from Big Chomps, and he writes, "State is much easier than the feds to get resentenced. I was fighting 40 years to life, and I did 22 years in the feds."
I heard the feds are vicious. They are, and I've heard that from a lot of people. I have some good friends that did a lot of federal time, and I'm very lucky that I haven't done federal time. And I heard the feds, they don't give you you don't get conjugal visits in the feds. You don't get you don't get that. I heard you got to do a lot of your time too, most of your time.
Yeah.
And resentencing laws, they would have to be handed down at the federal level. That would have to literally come from the U.S. government. Anything that changed and bills and stuff. So I'm sure that's a whole different cha-cha right there. But yeah, that's crazy that he did have to do all the time. That shit'll stick with you, And then they send you all over the country too. That's the crazy part. You can end up anywhere.
Yeah, he wrote 85% of your time. Yeah, and then they'll give you that Deezer therapy, and they be flying you all over the country. And then sometimes to top the cherry in the top is they'll give you a dry run. I had a buddy that was they have a transit center in Oklahoma, and he told me that one day he thought he was getting shipped to another prison, and he spent all day flying, and he ended up back in Oklahoma. The day he was like, man, I thought I was touching down somewhere, and man, come to find out, I ended up back in Oklahoma, and he had to do the same thing like a few days later. But this time around, he was able to make it to his destination.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
So about how I would do things over there, like how it all happened, right? Is like I said, I would show up to a yard, put the yard down, and after that I would set up shop, pull runners, start bringing in dope, and use that dope to kind of like create a little wrecking crew around me. So, you know, the wrecking crew, for one, is they make sure you get paid. Two, you know, you have that support system to protect you from, you know, from your own gang or from other entities, because remember, people are always trying to push up on you. People, like, one thing about gangs is it's dog eat dog, you know. There's all that camaraderie and cariño and all that. That's all bullshit. You know, there's some people that you ride or die with, but a lot of times, you know, you go through the gang with them and you'll end up in another place, and your homeboys and your boys that are actually like, they're ride or die with you, they'll go against your own gang with you, you know, but you don't stay with those people forever. Look at how long it's taken for me to get back over here with Jesse. We parted ways, man, it's been, last time I was incarcerated with Jesse was 2005, you know, around there. So around, 2005 or 2004. So it's been a while. So there's a lot of your boys are just kind of scattered, and yeah, you can stay in touch, and you can, you know, they'll have your back in little instances, but when you're on the ground on a prison yard, you're gonna have to take care of yourself. So I used to use drugs to try to do that, you know. And what had happened, there was a few things that happened, right? Well, one, it wasn't just one thing, it was a few things that happened, but I call that destiny. You know, for one, I set up shop right there. And I had a lot of things, like, it went too good. Like, I had everything, man. Like, I was making a lot of money. I had everything. I had stuff in my cell. Like, it was just, everything that I had strived for had been achieved, you know. And I just gotta leave it at that, you know. And so when that had happened, there were some knuckleheads that came out of the shoe, and
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
they had started to kick up dust on the yard and started trying to cause problems. Well, one thing, you know, that if you're ever in leadership or you're making money, is problems, they hit your pocketbook. And so I did the best I could to try to, like, I tried to send them over to get them on the team, but with the drugs, but they were too stupid to understand that, you know. They were just like more like descalapados, like they weren't interested in that. They were just interested in getting high, but they would still backstab you, go behind you, do this and that. And so when that had happened, I tried to flex my muscle. So when I flexed my muscle, I showed them too much. I showed them that I had a lot of support, and it was a threat. You know, like, continue on this path, like, you know what time it is, you know. And they stuck with that, but they couldn't do nothing because I still had the support of all the youngsters, all the dudes that were, like, putting in work and shit like that. And every once in a while I would put in work, you know. So they weren't going to try to make that, they held on to that threat, but they didn't forget it. So the next big thing that happened was laws started changing for lifers. I started hearing little things about things changing for lifers, because remember, at that time we didn't have nothing coming. So the first thing they did was they gave back family visiting to lifers. And that was something that my wife and I, we couldn't have, you know, up until that point. So one thing that you had to do to get family visits back is you had to get off of close custody. Well, I was on close custody for 10 years. And then another law changed that said they can take you off of close custody in 5 years. No, it's 5 years max now. They changed that. And that you can be off in 1 year if you don't have any disciplinary write-ups. So I was like, damn, you know, like, my wife's like, we're going to have those, right? You know, and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. You know, don't worry about it. So she would have to come up to visit me, and I would just have that look, you know, and she would just be like, well, what's going on? You know, I tell her, well, I got a 115. You know, she's like, well, what'd you get a 115 for? You know, it was just some shit that happened, you know. And so the year starts over. Then more time goes. I'm about 6 months into it. A riot pops off, and you know, I'm right there. You know, I was involved. So that's the second time I had to tell my wife, hey, you know, the year started over again because of a riot, you know. And there's just a lot of excuses. So those things were in the back of my head. So another fool rolled up during that time, because I was focused on kind of trying to stay out the way a little bit, and I was kind of limiting some of the things that I was doing because I was trying to get to a year clean so I can get off close custody. And during that time, somebody rolled up that was a member of the same gang as me, and he had deep pockets. He had deep pockets, man. And so the first thing that he did was, well, I got him involved with the runners on the yard. So he started picking up a lot of drugs. And he was basically doing the same, recipe as me. He picked up the drugs, and guess what? The youngsters started to roll with him. Well, during that time, I was already clean off the hard stuff, So I stopped sympathizing with the youngsters as users. Before, I knew what they were going through, so I was able to like grease them, and be like, okay, I'm pretty sure these fools are coming down right now, so I would hook them up and keep them going, keep them high and stuff like that. Well, when I was clean off of it, I started to lose touch with what they were going through. And when they would hit me up for stuff, I was giving them more like an attitude, For me, it was more of a money thing now. And I was like, well, I was telling them no. Well, on the other hand, this fool, he was hooking up all the youngsters. So while I was kind of focused on something else, the youngsters were kind of pushing this way. Those were the hitters. They were kind of pushing, towards him. Well, one of the fools that pushed towards him was that fool that I had threatened. So when things started to transpire, I seen what was happening, and I was like, damn, So I try to fix the issue. I try to mend fences, because at the end of the day, I wanted that year. I was more focused on what I had going on with with my wife. So I try to mend fences with homeboy, and I try to do it like politicking, And one thing happened. There was a fool that rolled up that was wanted on that yard, and he was a member of another gang. So the issues that would have happened, I was already at like 8 or 9 months clean at this time, like with no 115s. Somehow I had made it. So I had made it close to that year. So fool rolled up, and it was going to crack. So homeboy was involved with that. Well, I went against the grain, because I thought, well, look, I try to use every political maneuver in the book to try to like avoid this confrontation, because it was going to turn into all-out war, And what I did was I went against the grain in the gang, And so that's what they used to remove me. They thought, well, he went against the gang, and it kind of, you don't really do that, You got to kind of, like, there's some situations where you can be a voice of reason, but there's others where reason will get you hurt, And at that time, reason got me hurt.
I got a question for you. So when you were assaulted, does that cause you to get a 115, or how is that situation handled when it comes to administration and any type of disciplinary action coming about?
Well, your boy fought back. Oh yeah, I got a 115.
All right.
Yeah. So the thing is, right? So when I seen something happening on the yard, and I kind of knew, I could kind of sense it, I could kind of tell, and things had transpired where they let it go a little too easy, where I basically try to push that muscle again, but I had already lost that hold, So I try to push like again, like you guys are fucking all this up, and I try to make them feel stupid, like you guys got it made right here, but you can't reason with stupid. That's just what it is. These idiots would rather be in some shit than sit back, make money, and live decent in a place like that. That place is a freaking war zone, man. I told you I followed a blood trail all the way out of my cell towards a visiting one time. It was just stained. There was blood stained everywhere, all over that yard. People die in those yards, and I'm thinking, man, you guys got it made right now. It's peaceful. You fools are thriving. You do whatever it is that you want is here, and you'd rather choose war. And when war comes, the system, they have to come down on you, and they're going to take everything that you got. CDCR, they're not going to put up with that. They're going to try to mitigate that. They're going to strip you down to everything, to state issue. And so they're going to be up in your cells. It's just going to be a bunch of shit. It's like, man, how are you fools ever going to succeed? And so when that happened, the way that it wasn't a good call for them though. Like they used an excuse to make the move on me, but they didn't check with a lot of people. So there was a lot of people mad about it. There was a lot of people that didn't want to be out there. There was a lot of people, and I was noticing. I was like, man, I don't have nobody that I can really count on is out here right now. And I seen like somebody that I really cared about, he was out there, and I seen him arguing with some people, and that's what I was watching when it happened. They made the move right there, and they had him in a place that was kind of surrounded by another wrecking crew. And when I seen him, I was like, well, what's he arguing about, with it? And it was over the call right there. It still hadn't been decided until that yard that's what they were going to do. So that's why I didn't get holes run through me. That's why I didn't get killed, because it was something that just came up out of nowhere, and they had to try to get the votes right there on the spot, and they did, but with prejudice, So when it happened, I was looking over at my boy, and the first dude that he got me, right, he got me pretty hard in the back of my head. So he hit me so hard, he dropped me to a knee, and I went down on one knee, like I absorbed that hit, but I went down so hard on my knee.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It took skin off of my knee, and but I came back up pretty fast, because I hadn't known that I got hit. I came back up pretty fast, and I have a pretty hard left, so I came with the left, and they were just on me, so I was just doing my best to try to keep them close. So, when you're getting jumped like that, like, it's better to try to, like, get your hands on one person and kind of use him as a shield,
Yeah.
Because one thing about cholos jumping somebody, them motherfuckers just throw fists and feet without even looking,
Yeah.
Fists and feet are going to be coming, man, and you end up with like 5 people beat up, and it's like, damn, you fools beat each other up. So kind of what I did, I used the fists and feet of the cholo against them, and that took some hits. But when they were shooting, they were telling me to get down, and I wasn't going to get down. I was the last person to get down on the yard, because at that time I was like, whatever happened. The years definitely started over, but it's just like I said, I had a lot of things on my mind, like, damn, I'm actually gonna have an opportunity to thrive in here, It was just, and I needed that closure. Like, I needed them to put hands on me.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I needed them to put hands on me so that the situation could be over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed them to get a good, like, at least the appearance of a good beating. They didn't get that, but the protest over what happened was so much that they left it alone.
And
like it didn't follow me.
How did you how did you explain that 115 to your wife? Because you're already at your third 115, so it's gonna reset your year all over again.
Yeah, I'll explain that in a minute.
Okay,
I'll tell you what happened right now.
Okay, for sure.
Yep.
All right. So you are listening to At Collect Call From. You're currently on the line with David Lopez, which is located at Centinela State Prison. If you have any questions in regards to whatever he's speaking about, feel free to drop any questions or comments on the chat, and I'll go ahead and read them off in the order that are received. And whenever there's any breaks, let me see. The last comment that was written was by Marlene, and she wrote, I don't think people really know how much these men go through in there. And I agree with you on that. A lot of stuff happens in prison that people don't know about. All right, let's go.
This call is now being recorded.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes, sir. So I didn't have to explain it to her at first, because the person that was on the yard that was arguing on my behalf, he called my wife. He called her, He told her that my wife said that he had he was like crying, like he had like you could tell, in his voice, like that fool was like, I couldn't stop it, It went, I tried. I couldn't stop it. They were going to do what they did, And I know a lot of what happened, it was a monetary gain for them too, because they absorbed some money that I had put out there. And they absorbed basically any influence that I had, and any resources that I had were absorbed, And so they had taken the excuse over, quote unquote, going against the grain of the gang, and use that to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. try to justify what they did. But it didn't sit well with a lot of the gang members. And so one of them actually reached out, called my wife, and told her, hey, that this is what happened. He's okay. They got him all right, but this is what he's going to need in the hole, So they explained to my wife, like, what to get me in the hole. Like, I need a writing packet. I'm going to need paper, some stamps, something to, like, some puzzles and stuff, And so I didn't know this. So that happened, like, I don't know, maybe on a Tuesday. I'm not sure what day it was, but it happened during the week. And I was surprised because I got called for a visit that weekend. I had barely, I don't know, you know what, I don't even think I didn't send my wife a letter. I wrote her letters, but I didn't have a stamp to send it out with, And they had, my wife showed up. My wife showed up that weekend and went to see me, and she was just like, man, you look fucked up. Because I had black eyes and shit like that, But I was just, I think she could tell that something was different, that I was kind of scared because I didn't know life outside the gang. Like I had been a gang member, since I was 13 years old. Everything that I had done involved gang activity, had involved some sort of crime. So I didn't know what it was like. I didn't have any direction, but I felt that freedom. And I didn't know what the ramifications were. I didn't know that there were people advocating behind the scenes trying to make sure that, that I wasn't getting targeted again. And there was things that were happening, It spread pretty fast. So I end up in, Calipatria after that. And, my life started to take a change, So that's my aha moment, That's something that is of substance. You could see it, and I could explain it. I could articulate it, It's not just, well, I just changed. Well, how did you change? Well, I was beaten into submission, James.
Toma, like my daughter says.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. But no, that right there, though, was just like, man, because I had a lot of things going through my mind. I had a lot of those thoughts like, well, you're weak. How could you let that happen? It was an easy fix. All I had to do was just, grab some steel and take that dude out, and that would have been that. But I had always ruled by fear, like by putting fear into people, and I was looking at it like, man, like I changed for my wife at first. I didn't change for me at first. I changed for my wife. I wanted to be a good man for her because she was a good woman to me. And I thought about it like, man, like I can't even give my wife family visits. I can't even be out of trouble long enough to have whatever privileges we can have to be together because I'm so focused on shit in here. And then I have that other voice in my head like, well, she doesn't understand prison. She's telling you to do the right thing because in the streets and good people, they do the right thing. Well, I'm not on the streets. I'm around an environment where people don't do the right thing. It's against the grain to do the right thing in here. They got this damn term, this convict mentality, and I tried to abide by convict mentality ever since I learned what that term was. I was schooled by the convicts. I came in 2000. I'm an OG. I came in 2000 at 18 years old. That was the year when there was a lot of D numbers in the system, a lot of C numbers, a lot of B numbers. It was common to see those numbers. I had a P number before, so I started to behave like their example, that I was a part of the system. I wasn't a part of the streets no more. I was something different. And that wasn't true. That was far from the truth because I didn't come out of the womb guns blazing. I was a scared kid when I came to prison. I was trying to survive. I did things to survive. So eventually I stopped trying to be something, because I didn't realize that I had already become that. I was behaving like a convict. It was us versus them. I was involved with, with organized crime and doing that, that whole scene right there. And thinking about it now, it's like, man, what was it all for? What is it all for? when does it end? It ends when you make a decision, and sometimes, like I said, the decision has to get jump started for you. And I that's how it began to change my life. So now, that happened in I got moved on January 6, 2018. That's when they made a move on me. In about a week, or a little over a week, it'll be 7 years, James. 7 years since that happened.
But so then, when that all occurred, you completely changed and you turned over a new leaf, or was it gradual over time that
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
that small changes started to happen?
Well, remember, change is gradual.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what rehabilitation looked like. So to sit here and to tell you guys, well, yeah, it was done. They knocked some sense into me, and I completely changed in a positive direction. Well, to people who have lived a negative lifestyle for so long, what does a positive direction look like to you? In here, James, in the time that you spend in the county jail, right? Who are the people that were the only people, if you were on the main line, who are the only people that you ever saw were doing something good?
I can't recall ever coming across anybody like that. Everybody was in the same thing, trying to get dope, trying to get money, trying to pull people in, to bring in stuff for them. So you don't see that.
You don't see that. But me, I have seen it. I've seen 3 or 4 guys walking around the yard that everybody was kind of talking shit about, and guess who they were? They were Christian. They were the Christians. And they would always say, well, so was so-and-so. Oh, that's a homie right there, but he's a Cristiano now. He's not involved, They're letting him stay in the yard, but he's not to do nothing. He can't drink, he can't smoke, he can't do nada. He's hiding behind the Bible. That's what they would say. And I heard it. I heard it on the main line, and they were just people here and there. You see the OG, and he's just going about his business, and he hears the things that people are saying about him. People don't fuck with him, kind of just on his own, but he's doing his time, and guess what? That dude will make it home. Me, I'm not a Christian, James. I'm not a Christian. I'm religious. I definitely am religious, but I'm not a Christian. So I didn't know I wasn't going to fall in with the Cristianos when I got here because I'm not Christian. So I didn't know what to do. I'm walking on the yard and I'm looking around and it's like, damn, I'm still going by my old alias. I don't see that's an issue, and I ran into a few people that I knew because I know people everywhere. I've been in the system a long time, and they were on doing what they were doing. So the first thing I do is I'm like, all right, well, I'm not using no hard stuff. I'm not messing around, but I don't see a problem with smoking weed. I don't see a problem with taking pills here and there. As long as I'm not doing anything black or anything white, nothing like that. Like, I'm clean, right? I'm not in a gang no more, so I'm clean there. But it's all right for me to put, to slang a little bit of that stuff, put some money on the locker. That's what recovery looked like to me, because I didn't know what recovery looked like. There was people that were on the right path at that time, but they weren't approaching me. I was looking off to the side like, well, who are these vatos right here? Who are these dudes they got these folders in their hands and they're going in and out of these programs? And I'm thinking, well, I have experience from being in other prisons. I'm thinking, them fools are all on something too. Them fools are fake. Them fools are this. Them fools are that. I was already passing judgment on them. I was thinking, and some of the times I would run into some of them dudes, and they were taking trips with some of my homies, the people that I mess with. I'm thinking, well, that dude's fake. That dude's right here preaching in front of people. He's facilitating groups, and this dude just came and picked up a paper. So in my mind, in rehabilitation, I'm thinking, well, it's all right to mess around here and there. It's all right to smoke a little weed. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. It's all right to use a cell phone. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. but that's not true. That's not the case. So I had to learn those things. I had to learn those things the hard way. Like thinking, all right, well, if you use a cell phone in here, that's criminal activity. Nobody in recovery should have a cell phone in here or use a cell phone. Why? Because the criminal mentality that goes behind hiding one of those things, using one of those things, purchasing one of those things, it's just doing the same shit you're always doing. And if you say you want to change your life, then hey man, it's not cool, but you shouldn't be using those things. The same goes with selling drugs. Okay, so I'm not using, I'm slinging it a little bit, but what happens if somebody doesn't pay me? What do you think I'm gonna have to do, James?
No. Yeah, hurt them. I mean, what else? I mean, there's no other way to put it. You have to make them an example.
You can't be letting fools burn you in prison.
Nope.
So you leave yourself reservations. Well, I'm not going to get into no issues, but if somebody doesn't pay me, I'm gonna have to handle my business. It's what it is. Nobody burns me. So that's that pride. So you can't do that. It doesn't work. And what happens if you're around somebody? You could be the cleanest criminal in the world, but guess what? You're gonna have to bring other people into what you're doing. You're gonna have to, man. You're gonna pick up from somebody. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. They're gonna lock it up. They're gonna tell on you. You're gonna press up on somebody. They're gonna leave. They're gonna tell on you. Or this dude walking with you, he's not gonna tell you he has something on you. But that's your social circle. So all them fools got something on you, on them. You get rolled up by the cops. Guess what? They're gonna roll up on you too. You are who you're around. So
hey, David.
You have to start. Yeah.
What kind of excuses were people giving you when they were trying to buy some time, or what kind of stuff did you see them telling their people? What did they need this money for? Or their TV broke down, or whatever. What kind of excuses did you hear from both sides?
All kinds of shit. They need to buy some shoes on a tier. TV broke down. They lost their packages. Can you put a package in this guy's name? Yeah, they owe restitution, so can you put money on me? That's how a lot of people do it. They'll be like, oh, well, I owe restitution, so can you put money on this guy's books, on that guy's books? A lot of the dealers, they don't really like to do that. They like cash apps and stuff like that, But there's a few, when people have good money, they'll just have people put money on their books, every month. And so when they do that, they're usually, there's people that are doing that.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
There's people doing that are going to store and actually getting the store, and they'll pay money and shit, because they owe restitution. But a lot of times they'll put it right on the Connect's books. That's what they'll say. Oh, can you do it here? Can you do there? Buy shoes? Can I buy a TV? Can I get a watch? I broke something. I broke this guy's radio. He's pissed off at me. There's all kinds of freaking excuses. Oh, they're going to jump me. They're extorting me. Yeah, fuck, it goes on and on.
Hey, I know we got about 20 seconds on this call.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be
waiting. I'm going to call you back right now.
Okay. Hey, so for those of you on TikTok, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to restart the stream because I got hit by the TikTok police, all right? So I'll be back in about 2 seconds, all right? I'll be back shortly. Sorry for the inconvenience.
The IRS seized over 68,000.
Oh, sorry about that on TikTok or YouTube. All right, I'm going to have to start it back up. Don't worry, if you're on YouTube, you won't be affected by this. All right, we're back.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about something right now during the break, right? I was thinking there was a time, right, when I get the Calipat, right, and I tell my mom, well, I gotta, because I used to tell her all the time, well, I need to get some store, get some stuff, and so I tell her the same thing when I get to Calipat. I'm like, yeah, I gotta grab some store and stuff, And I was like, hey, can you give me some money? And she's like, yeah. She goes, I'll go get you a PayPal right now. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yes, you can go to the store. My mom, I had been putting my store money on PayPals for so long that she thought that that's actually how, like, that was like JPay. I felt so bad when I had to explain to her. I was like, Mom, they don't accept PayPals here. Like, you're giving me money on cards so I can go hustle,
Yeah, yeah.
She was like, what?
Man.
Yeah. I told her I got to go get my store, but she didn't understand that I was going to, I had other things tied in with that too,
Yeah, yeah. Man.
Any money, go ahead.
So so let me ask you, so I asked you, what kind of excuses people were giving their families, to have money be put on different people's books or Green Dot, PayPal, or whatever.
Yep.
Knowing obviously people are struggling out here, and if they're able to put $100, I would say that person, that individual, will be considered lucky. They're using these things for illicit substances, or to pay debts. Do you feel like bad, or at any point, because these family members are putting money, or it's like whatever, like that's on them, for getting involved in having those type of addictions?
You become desensitized to it, like I remember there was a dude where I had took his whole package. I had seen him. I had seen him get a package, and he had a bunch of, he had some clothes, and it was his parole package. Like, he was about to get out.
Damn.
And yeah. I had seen it, he got some shoes, he got some sweats, he got all kinds of shit, And I went, and I was like, oh, that fool's a tweaker. So I went and I gave him a little bit of dope, like, just, hey, I want you to try this, see if you're interested, and I hooked him with, with the little paper, And
yeah.
I was walking around. That dude walked out of that place wearing nothing but them state issue freaking parole clothes,
Damn.
Yeah, I took his shoes, I took his freaking everything, his sweats, his sweater, clothes, everything.
But man, yeah.
You think about that, Yeah, but that's.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
When you're involved with that type of scene, you don't have any respect for people. Addicts are addicts. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just like, they're what they are. You become it becomes like a different type of trap, like a trap house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you trap them, and that's why that game is a parasitic game, because you thrive off of feeding off of other people. You're a parasite. What's
the funniest or craziest excuse somebody gave you for not being able to pay their debt?
Oh, I heard all kinds of shit. I heard like there were dudes that say like, oh, somebody died and their girl just left them, but it's mostly somebody died, like somebody died, or I can't get a hold of them, like all kinds of shit. Yeah, but a lot of times though they'll be like, it's sent, or they'll just give you fake numbers, and then like PayPal numbers. That's what they give you. Like, they'll act like they paid it,
Yeah.
And they'll go all the way to the beating too with it. Like, it's fucking crazy. They'll give you fake numbers. You go and check them right away, and then they're bad. And you get at them like, hey, fool, these are no good. Dog was cracking, But you're still trying to get paid, and they'll be giving you excuses. They'll blame their old lady, like, oh, she probably wrote it wrong, and shit like that. And yeah, it's crazy. So you got to kind of keep pressing them, and then a little bit of time go by. That'll buy them like another couple of days, and see if they can fix it. I can't get a hold of her. I'm trying. Like, it's all good, And it's crazy because when you're a dealer in here, you usually can like hit people from like it's like rolling the dice, right? They're gonna burn you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a given. So you gotta kind of play like, well, when are they gonna burn you? So you get them like 2 or 3 times, they'll pay like perfect, and then you're usually gonna get got on the 3rd or 4th time. The game's gonna begin.
And how many people? How many of those people would normally disappear in the middle of the night?
Most of them.
And they do
Yeah.
it all over again, right? But
Yeah.
at some point, does it get so bad that everybody knows wherever they land that they've already done it at 10 other spots?
100%. 100%. There's people here that can't even get a shot of coffee or a sopa.
Shot of
100%.
coffee. That's bad.
Yep. My phone got Nava. He ain't got Nava coming. Yep. Nobody fucks with him
Hey,
for anything.
so you went through all of this. You got moved from one prison to another. You caught another 115. You have to reset the whole year again. You get to this new spot and you're setting up shop again. How long was that? When you got removed from that other prison? Was that your last 115, or did you end up catching any more at Calipat?
That was my last 115, and yeah, that was my last 115. And there was a time, right, where I seen something happen that was to somebody that was like doing shit he wasn't supposed to, and he was doing really good. And I seen him get cracked and lose everything, like everything. Lost his girl, lost his visits, got cracked with a little something. And he wasn't even messing around like that.
Yeah.
He was just dipping and dabbling, and he freaking lost everything, man. And then I just seen the way that they were looking at him, like other people were just looking at him like he was just the fakest, most, just scumbag. And it was crazy because the recovery community completely shunned him. I seen it, and I thought like, damn, like that fool. Like I kept thinking like, man, my wife ain't gonna put up with this, like she would have put up with that. Like this fool lost his visits for 3 years. He got cracked with something. They fucked his shit up. Like it was just bad, And then right after that happened, they cracked up for something else that was hella stupid. And all that dude was on C status because we got 2 115s within 6 months. And I seen that. I was like, damn, that fool just fell bad. And then I seen some other fool. He was a preacher, and he got cracked with a cell phone. And he was a dude that was all involved with everything, man, like positive. And they cracked him with a phone. And I seen the way people like talked about him behind his back and all that. So that's what deterred me at first, where I was like, man, I gotta I'm not gonna mess around with nothing personally. But I was talking to people that were, and I had a cellie that was using. I had a cellie that I got moved in there, and he was like using, and I was thinking about when he was in there, I smoked some weed, and it just made me like paranoid. I kept thinking like, damn, if they drug test me, I'm gonna lose my visits forever, and I'm gonna lose my visits. My wife's gonna leave me, and I just kept having that in my mind the whole time that I was high. It just fucking ruined the whole high, and I just thought like, man, I just can't do this no more, I just can't. I can't put myself through this shit. I'm gonna have to move. And so I made a decision to move out of that cell and to move in with somebody that everybody said was like a straight cop, which he wasn't. But he was like a clerk. He worked for like the program office, and everybody was like, "Oh, that dude's a cop. He's gonna tell on you and do." Like he just had that reputation. But I seen something different in him. I seen like, no, this dude's a cool dude, and I could see that he's trying to maintain his integrity in this place where nobody has integrity, and I respected that. And there was a time where I was ready to take my recovery to the next level. And so he offered me. He had been watching me for a little while, and he'd seen that I was staying out of bullshit and that I was doing good, and that I had some clean time under my belt. And so he invited me to be a cellie, and I accepted, And when I became a cellie, a lot of people were like asking, like, why would you move in with that dude, Gang of people told me that, but I stopped caring. I didn't give a fuck, man. And I realized that everything that people were saying about him wasn't true. Like he wasn't telling on nobody. He wasn't involved with nothing. That fool didn't know nothing. He minded his own business, did his time, and he was one of them Cristianos,
Hey, let me ask you,
Just did what he did.
when people were making comments, did they ever call you guys Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo?
Nah, never, nothing. They call us power cellies,
Yeah.
They're like them fools are like a power couple because we were both in we were both involved with like all kinds of programs, and I got him out of shell to become a facilitator for certain things, you know.
Yeah.
And we actually work real well together. He's out there right now. He did 26 years. He was here for a first degree 187, and he paroled.
Damn.
And that dude is making excellent money. He works for a college, and he's my first real mentor. You know, that dude's like my big brother.
Damn,
you know?
that's what's up.
And he still takes my calls to this day. You know, talk to him all the time. He's on my tablet. He's doing good, man. He's thriving. After 26 years,
Yeah.
he is living the life that he always wanted to live, and he wasn't going to let this place stop him from doing that, you know. I remember just before he paroled, we were, like, he had pissed me off. We used to argue sometimes, you know, just about dumb shit. And he was kind of stubborn, you know. And one time, like, I wasn't even talking to that fool for, like, a whole day. And some fool had got by his cellie pretty bad. And they brought the dude out, and he was sitting at the bench, and they were trying to stop the blood because the blood was coming down, and it was soaking like it was like squirting out of his head, you know, like all crazy.
Yeah.
And it was just pouring down, and you could see like it was just like no matter what they did, they tried to put pressure, and it was just pouring out. It was just the dude was covered with it, and he was shaking a little bit, and medical was trying to do something, and the whole floor was covered with blood. It was vicious, man. It was right outside my cell, and he just looked at me, you know. I remember he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he just shook his head. He goes, "Hey, man," he goes, I can't see this anymore. I can't do this anymore, you know. And I could just see it, like, in his eyes, you know, like it was just, he had seen it one too many times, just like I had, and he just wasn't gonna, he was done with this place, you know. And yeah, I always think about that moment, you know. I think about that time, like, where he's free of this, you know, and, you know, you never know what you're going to see in prison. When I come out of the cell, I never know what I'm going to see out there in the tier on the yard, you know. And I'm still, like, I'm desensitized to it, where if I see it, it's like, well, it's, you know, that's what it is. That's just the way this place is, you know. But I have compassion, but sometimes it's good to remove myself from the reality of this place.
And how are you able to do that? You know, remove yourself, you know, from that place while in that place, if that makes any sense.
Well, I never stop moving. Like, I'm always doing something. People always see me in transition, going from one place to another. That's what I do. I go to work, I do school, I go to the day room, I bring my computer, and I start working on stuff in the day room. I'm always busy. Some people come up and they ask me, they're like, "Well, are you busy right now?" And it's funny because people around, they hear that a lot, you know, and they hear people ask me that a lot, and I tell them, of course I'm busy. I said, but I can be busy doing something that you got going on. What's up? You know, like I'm always busy. I said, does a fish swim? Of course I'm busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is the only time, like, if I'm talking to my girl or if I'm kicking back with you guys on the podcast, This is the only time that I'm actually relaxed and I'm not doing something.
You know, and speaking of your girl, so, you know, you get a Cali Pet. How long does it take you before you're able to, you know, obtain that golden ticket and able to, you know, go and experience one of those family visits?
Well, I got them.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
It took about 3 years because of freaking COVID.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, COVID.
COVID, man, that shit was messed up. You got time for more calls?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
For TikTok, I'm gonna have to go ahead and reboot it again. I got hit again. All right. So my apologies to Yenny. I see that you're in there. I'll be back in a minute or two. All right.
The IRS seized over.
IRS sees nothing because I pay my taxes. All right. So we're currently waiting for David to call back. If you haven't done so, please do so. Check out the playlist on YouTube and check out David and Jesse, and you could get into their backstory, their earlier life when they were kids up to where they're at now. And that goes for anybody that comes down here regularly. We do have their life journeys and a bunch of other stuff. So, sometimes we get on these video calls, sometimes we get on these phone calls, sometimes we do in person. It all depends on what's going on in that specific day. But hopefully, 2025 is hopefully going to be a good year. And some of these individuals are going to be coming home, and if they do, I'm gonna be there. So clean up your calendars because 2025 is going to be
This call
there.
is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Get your mask.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yeah. So, COVID, man. COVID. Right when I got approved, it took me about a year, almost 2 years to get off close custody, and then once that happened, I got approved, and it took the whole process went through. They had some issues with my application, they lost it or some shit. I don't know what the hell happened, but it turned up missing, and then I had to go track that down. And then by the time everything got worked out, it was COVID happened, and so they shut down all visiting and family visiting. It took 3 years total.
Damn, that was a little stretch. Did you hear my daughter laughing in the background?
I did, man. She sounds cute, man.
Man, she'll do that sometimes. She'll run into the room. And she'll try to get on camera, and then I'm over here trying to board her off of the camera because she's trying to show her face. So she climbs on top of me, and she'll try to do it, but not today.
It's funny. Not today. I tried to. I got to see my nephews today, which was cool. My brother came, his wife, and my two nephews. And they're, my nephew's at the age where he's asking, he's 8 years old, but he wants to know why his uncle's in prison.
Yeah.
So that's kind of rough right there, That's something that's a rough thing that I have to explain to them. I don't want to lie to his face, but I also can't tell him, I can't tell him the dynamics of what happened, what transpired. So I have to kind of tiptoe around the subject. He's a good kid, man.
I don't think
a great day today.
I don't think a child that age could, comprehend that. With my daughter, she's always asking me hey, why is so-and-so in jail? Is he a bad man? And I'm like, Mama, he made some choices that ended him, in prison. And I just leave it at that because, she's not going to be able to wrap her head around, some of the things you guys that are in there, what you guys have done. That's going to open up way more questions that's way above my pay grade right now at the age she's at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, well, that's cool, man. That's cool that your family, they still keep in touch and they come visit you, whenever they can. Your brother, he wasn't involved in any of the things that you were involved in.
Not to the extent,
Yeah.
My brother had his struggles with addiction and things like that, but he was able to overcome them. He's been working for a long time.
Yeah.
I try to, as far as the the hardcore gang activity, hell no. I try to keep them away from that.
Yeah.
That's something you don't want to involve your family in. You seen Little Puppet, how that worked out for him,
It didn't work out for him. It ended up really bad for him.
Little Puppet.
Yep, don't look at me.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Don't look at me, Little Puppet. Hey, what the fuck?
Hey, but you know what?
Somebody told me to do that shit to my little brother. Go ahead.
A lot of
they would end up with the wire around their neck.
But you know what? If you really pay attention to the movie, there's a message there. and a lot of people refuse, to pay attention to that message. And it's just what you mentioned it right there. It didn't matter who you were. If you were going to get got, you were going to get done in regardless, and nobody was going to stop it.
Nope. And the thing is look, the interests of the gang like that always come before anything else. You belong to them now. There's nothing that you can do that's not a part of that interest. If you go against that interest, you're done. And you hear a lot of people that come onto, they try to come onto this channel and try to gangbang through the app or do it, they try to do that shit. Like I don't even feel anger for those people because they have no idea what it is. And the people who do don't do things like that.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It doesn't matter. Every once in a while you'll have somebody that'll come on and they'll be like, yeah, pro from here. They'll emphasize that they were GP and this and that, But they kind of leave it at that because they know what it is. And the people who don't. And it's a complete, you have to completely give yourself to the gang. They ask a lot of you. And it's just, to me, it's just to each their own, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, they're bad or they're this or that. Like, yeah, it's a bad thing, to take somebody's life. It's a bad thing to ruin somebody's life. It's a bad thing to brainwash children to become a part of something like that. The people who are doing those things, it's not good. I mean, that's just common sense, right?
Mm-hmm. No. You know what? And another thing, I like you mentioned right now, people get on, and they say certain things, but at the end of the day, the streets never win. Hold on, no, the streets always win. The streets always win. We never win. The people that are living that lifestyle.
We never win.
Yeah, the streets always win.
You're gonna end up in here like this, and you're gonna be doing somebody else's time, and that's just what it is. You can't be your own man over there, and that's why I've completely removed myself from any prison ideology. I have issues with respect. I still have to work on that, where I think, well, this fool disrespected me, I ain't fucking with them, and those are things that I know that I have to work.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
But just because somebody is housed in a certain place, they're not going to be my enemies. Just because they're a part of this gang or they're doing this and that, they're on the main line, they're in SMY, like if they want to keep themselves closed off to society and to reality and make their life this world, hey, more power to them. That's their business. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to participate in that anymore. That's done. There's nothing to glorify about a place like this. This is a place of suffering. This is a place where people are spending decades of their lives completely isolated from society. How is that anything to glorify? The real shit's going on out there, You can go out there and take your trips around the world, and you can go see that giant naked Trump over there in Vegas. There's things. You know what I'm saying? Like this. Yeah. You could travel around. And see some shit.
Yeah.
And this ain't it, man. We see our whole world on TV. And how is that anything to glorify?
Yeah, man. And you know what? You mentioned that right now, seeing the world on the TV. Sometimes people get on the comments saying that what I'm doing is scandalous. That I'm showing you guys the world, but you guys are incarcerated. And I'm like, shit, hold up. I mean, everybody has their own way of looking at things. And for me, it's like, man, if I was locked up, I would want to see what the hell's going on, in the outside world. Or you mean I'm seeing the same thing, the same four walls every day after day. I want to see something, something different in my daily routine. So, and that's one of the reasons that I like to share that with you guys. Whenever I go out to certain places, I want to share those experiences with you guys.
I think it's all a matter of perspective. Like for Jesse and I, like we don't look at it like that. It gives us some control in our lives. Like you're taking us there, and it's like, all right, well, James, go in that store, go check that out. Like you're helping us there. You're bringing us to the world. If you're our arms and our legs, man, and you're giving us vision, and we can move around and we can see things. And that's something you don't get on TV. You see a scene, and it's here 1 second, and it's gone the next, and you can't tell your TV, go back. And you see that, and it could be something that's small. It could be a little detail, like how you showed me the water. Like I want to see the cruise ship right there. I want to look at it a little bit longer. I want to hear the water lapping up against the side of the bridge. I want to hear those things, and those are senses that we don't have anymore. We have them, but we're deprived of the opportunity to experience that. And so that's why that is so meaningful to me. And to Jesse, it's just different. I want to see that bashful Puerto Rican lady. She had the giant penis behind her. That shit was funny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I want that.
If anybody's wondering,
I want that moment.
If anybody's wondering what he's talking about, just go to the profile, scroll down, look for a video that has a Puerto Rican flag on it, and you see some body parts on it, and you'll get what he's talking about.
Yep, that shit was funny. And so, but it's crazy. Like I would have never known that shit,
Yeah. And and that's not the only place I've ever seen that. I've seen that I've seen those type of foods I've seen them in Madrid, Spain. I've seen some in Cancun. So it's like, I don't know if it's a Latino thing or Latin American thing, but man, those shops are all over the place. So when I saw it in Puerto Rico, I was like, damn, what? They infiltrated here too? Shh. They're definitely doing it.
Yeah, that shit was pretty funny. But I know that, the beginning of this podcast, we were talking about the laws and stuff like that, but, the research into laws and things like that. But, all these things right now, knowing what's out there in the world is knowing what to fight for. When you go and you feel like it's the end of the road for you, you got sentenced for life, and you've lost all your appeals, you think it's over. So the addict's mind tells you, well, you might as well do it high. The fuck this, fuck that, fuck, everything. You get every excuse in the book to do negative things. It doesn't have to be like that, man. There's hope for the hopeless. You just have to find it. You can go to get that AB 600, that, and it's a simple paper. You can get it, you can fill it out, you can mark other, and you can tell the court why you think that you should be resentenced. There's 1437. SB 1437, which eliminates the felony murder rule. There's 483, which eliminates the 1-year enhancements. There's 1170 D1, which says that the court shall resentence you.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
If you can show changes in your lives, there's a Racial Justice Act that shows that you can mark that on there. RJA, Racial Justice Act, say that there was discriminatory language used, or you being a certain race worked against you in court, and you should have a second look at your case. There's all kinds of things that you can do. You can file a habeas corpus, and you can say, hey, that my trial wasn't fair in this regard. Try to get back into court. It's never over until it's over.
I would have been like you guys.
The law can change, and that could be that.
I would have been filing every court. Pay any petition, anything. I would have been mailing everything off. I wouldn't have just been sitting there, and done every day that they wanted me to. I don't care if I'll get out a month early, 2 months early, whatever time I could come home early. It's a win in my book, because it's 1 day less. You got to be in prison.
Go out there, see the world, find that giant penis, move about your business.
Yeah.
Move about the world.
Yeah.
You know, find your moment of laughter. You know, and you can remove yourself from this place. This place doesn't have to be who you are, and including like family members. If you got a loved one that's in here, show your family member the world, man. Somehow, some way. It doesn't always have to be the same song and dance. It is what you.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
If people are getting in trouble, ask them why. My wife was asking me questions. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? She didn't put up with none of my excuses and none of my bullshit. She wanted hard answers. Why are you doing things that are going to keep you from returning home to me? The person that loves you the most. Next to your mama. You know, and ask those questions. If they don't have answers for you, then maybe there's a reason why they can't answer that question. You know, That's what it is. You got another call on you, James?
Yeah, let's do one more and we'll wrap it up.
All right.
All right.
All right. I'll call you back.
All right, for sure. All right. So for those of you that just tuning in right now or might not be familiar with what we do here, we take live phone calls from California State Prisons. We're currently on the line with David Isaac Lopez, which is located in Centinela State Prison. If you want to check out his backstory, you could go to Add Collect Call From on YouTube. Go to playlist, look up David, and you'll come across his journey. We did numerous phone calls over numerous days, and at this point, shit, man, we've easily been on these phone calls over a few hundred hours.
This call is now being
Esta
recorded.
es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, David.
Yes, sir.
All right. We just got a comment right here on YouTube from Don Juan. And he writes, "Salute, gentlemen. With all due respect, you gentlemen have a wonderful holidays."
Hey, thank you. That's nice of them. You likewise. Have a wonderful holiday, man. Go out there, live your life, and that's cool, man. Thank you for being here too.
Hey, let me ask you right now that he said wonderful holidays. I mailed you guys some holiday cards. Did you guys get them yet?
Hey, I did. That's what I wanted to tell you, man. Thank you very much. We got it Friday.
Oh, all right.
That holiday card was cool, man. We loved it a lot. Hey, what prison was that in?
It wasn't. That's not a prison. It's AI. I had AI draw that up. Look at it. If you look at it,
cool.
It's not real. Yeah. I was
crazy.
Like, man, I gotta send.
I was like, oh, that's cool.
I was like, man, I gotta send them a Christmas card, but I can't send them, the ones you could get at Walgreens or Save-Ons or Target or Walmart. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and print it up because I bought some cards, some blank cards, some years ago, and I just have them sitting in the box. I was like, man, let me print some up and ship them off, and I'm glad they made it through. I was kind of worried. I was worried they weren't gonna let him through because they were gonna say it was a prison.
No, they let it through. It was cool. It was cool, man. We enjoyed it. We were tripping out on it this morning.
Hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm glad that I was able to shed some light, hopefully, on some of these laws. Anything that can help somebody. If you have any questions, for James, you can hit him up, and even if I'm not on the chat, you could still send James the question.
Yeah.
And, I'll answer it next time, or I'll give him an answer. He can just reach out to me on the tablet, and I'll relay the message. Like I said, I'm in the trenches. In the trenches here in recovery, rehabilitation, legal, education. That's what I do. That's my life now. If there's you have a loved one that's over there considering changing, just encourage them, be there for them, but you got to keep them, hold them accountable. Call them on their bullshit because you could save their life. That could be the difference of them coming home, getting a chance to get some time off their sentence.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Or even saving their life, because it only takes one bad decision in here. I've seen people die in here from drugs. You never know, and I can guarantee you that they didn't think that was going to happen when they freaking, when they did what they did. So it's a very serious thing.
And right now, yeah, you mentioned, people losing their life in prison, and it's a common theme. It seems like it's in the news like every other week from the CDCR. I know they don't publish a lot of stuff that happens, but word gets out, and people are putting these stories out. I think somebody just lost their life last week. I don't recall what prison it was in, but I know the CDCR didn't put out a statement. So it's happening all the time. It seems like it's happening more often.
For sure.
More often than in the previous years. I think with all the changes that they're making, is definitely impacting a lot of people's lives. It might look good on paper when they're making these changes, but these changes have the real world consequences, and people's lives. People end up losing their lives over these decisions.
Yeah, it's true. And you just gotta encourage the loved ones. If there's people that are considering leaving the main line and stuff like that, encourage your loved ones. Tell them, look, it's different. It's different than before. If you don't want to come to an SMI yard, then request non-designated housing. You don't have to go through debriefing or nothing like that. It don't work like that. If you qualify, if you're coming up for your annual and you're level 3, you can request to go to a non-designated program facility, and that's it. They'll put you on a bus and you're there. The SMY program is a failed program. There's gangs, drugs, violence, murders. There's all kinds of stuff that are happening on the SMY yards and non-designated yards. That's where Jesse and I are on. We're on a non-designated yard. Those things it's just people that are trying to do their time, program, and go home. There's a stigma attached to these yards. Oh, that yard's no good, but it's no good by whose standard? Society's? Because to me, that's all that matters. I don't care if some gang or gang leaders are worried about where I'm doing my time, where I'm in a cage. That don't matter to me. And your loved ones shouldn't worry about that either. If you're worried about what the neighborhood's going to think, you're probably already failed anyway, because you're worried about going back to the same thing you left, and it's not going to work. How many times you got to sit here in a cell before you realize that your place ain't in the barrio? Your place is with your family. You got family that's in the neighborhood, then guess what? Cut them off too.
Hey, David. So right now with these whole changes that are coming your way, do they switch your designation on your chrono once everything gets flipped over?
Absolutely. I'm non-designated. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what it is. I'm a non-designated. I have no designation. I'm not GP. I'm not SMY. I'm none of that. I'm just David. I'm what I am.
That's right.
People don't like it, then tough luck. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what
someone
else?
wants to try to assault me, then guess what? Yeah, somebody wants to try to assault me, or somebody wants to try to hurt me and all that. Like, go ahead, do what you got to do. Whatever makes you feel empowered or emboldened in your life, I'm fine. They pay these officers good money to try to protect me. I'm all right. They'll be there. They'll be running up with gas and bombs, and I've been bombed before, so you're gonna suffer more than me. I'm used to it.
Hey, let me ask you.
I might not wear that.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was gonna ask you: Are you guys gonna be available for Christmas Christmas Eve? Maybe some video visits that we could go ahead and bless the audience with.
Hey, I'm always available for you guys.
All right.
I can't. Jesse is also. I can't speak to it. He might be. I don't think he'll get a visit Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And I don't even know if I'm in day room that day.
Yeah.
We got night day room right now. What day are we in? We're in the...
Today's the 21st, so in 4 days.
So I'll have day room on Christmas Day at night.
At nighttime?
On Christmas Eve, I'll have it in the afternoon. I'll have it in the afternoon on Christmas Eve.
Christmas. So we could do either whatever, either the 24th or the 25th, depending on what your guys' schedules are.
Yeah. If they even run programs, because a lot of times they like to lock us down during the holidays.
That's right. Yeah, everybody's gonna call off.
So Yep. What I'll do though is I'll give you you can plan for it.
Yeah.
We'll absolutely do it. You know that.
Okay.
We're always there for you guys. You guys are always there for us. We're always there for you. If you guys are on some prison ideology, count me out. I'm not there for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we could do something. And
Hey, did they ever send you?
Did they ever send me what?
Got you. Did they ever like hateful emojis? Like, angry face.
Not, you know what? Not, you know what? I don't know. It's because I just been fortunate, or we've been fortunate enough not to really have those, that element in here, or it might be because I filter a lot of words on TikTok where you can't put a lot of stuff down. So I don't know if they try to type stuff if it doesn't pop up on my screen, or we just been fortunate enough not to really have that type of mindset in here. But yeah, no, I would say overall we really don't get that much hate. Or maybe they're just real ones and they're like, man, screw, I can't comment on this chat here. It's gonna put me in a compromised position. So it might be that. I don't know.
I put some rice. I might end up with my face in some rice, huh? If I'm messing with these guys. Yeah. Hey, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we did a whole freaking thing on the movie American Me one time.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where dude got done pretty bad, man, and they threw his face in some rice, man, and they freaking got him from behind. Not in the way that I was got from behind, in a whole other way. Yeah, you know what I mean? This was the laundry room in 1970 something.
Yeah.
In prison. Yeah. They got that man bad. And so when we always say about the rice, that's what we're talking about. Like, I was making a joke. I was like, man, well, I'm always walking around with some rice in my hand now, a little pack of freeze-dried rice, you know what I mean, just in case,
Uncle Ben's.
Yeah, Uncle Ben's freeze-dried. Is that what it's called, freeze-dried? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Ms. Vero just put a comment on here. She put little laughing emojis. She also put pobrecito.
Pobrecito, no. Hey, it's pre-cooked long grain rice. I'm looking at a pack of it right now. You know what I mean? And it says enriched. Oh yeah, he got pretty bad. Pobrecito. I don't think that's enough. It's like that's more like when you bite your knuckle. Like.
Man, I gotta get somebody here with a B number. I need to get a B number on here from the 70s that could
B number.
I
thought Iceman had a C number, didn't he? Or D number or something like that. Iceman he had a low number.
Yeah, he had an old number, but yeah, no, because he was there in the 80s. Man, I should bring. Man, Iceman probably knows. He in the 70s and 80s. I think I'm pretty sure that was it was still cracking back in those days. I'm pretty sure he could shed some light on that.
Is that what you call it? It was still cracking? Is that what you mean? Quote unquote?
Quote unquote, yep. Some things were happening back there.
Hey, Ms. Vero, what's up with this vato? What's up with this vato?
We got Giggles 619 in here. She wrote hey, and Ms. Vero 559 wrote OMG, laughing out loud.
OMG, and hey to you. This is no laughing matter.
Yeah, it's not, man. It's horrible, man. Man, that was a real knuckle biter right there.
That was a knuckle biter.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to tell you. It was cool, man. It was cool to spend some time with you guys, man. I'll always love coming over here, man, and spending these few hours with you guys. So I got day room tonight, so I'm gonna go cruise out there and see what's cracking out there in the abyss,
Yeah.
That's what it is,
Proceed with caution.
Everybody out there, go ahead.
Proceed with caution.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be walking around, right? I'm gonna be walking around. Tell me if you can hear this, right? I'm gonna be like this. Who's tripping? Who's tripping?
Leave a little trail of rice on your door. Walk out to the day room. Let's see if anybody follows it up.
Felipe. Like, man. He's like, are you the, hey, he shows up, are you the guy from the website? Hey, what the fuck? what website you on? At Collect Call? Where are you at?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yep, that's gonna be. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, right now when it hangs up, call me back. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you off the air of some messages that I received that I wanted to for you to hear.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right. Yeah, so that's just funny, man. But I want to send a shout out to everybody, man, and let you guys know, man, it was cool, man. Send a shout out to my wife, to everybody that was on here. Marlene, as always, Velo, you guys are big time supporters, man. I'm always happy to be here with you guys. James, as always, we couldn't do this without you.
Ms. Vero wrote, they're gonna call him Ben, or they're gonna call him Tío Ben.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
You hear me?
No, I didn't hear you.
I'm gonna go by Keefy Kitchens. That's my rice man.
All right.
Big Ben's.
There it is.
But I send a shout out to everybody, man. Thank you guys, and we'll try to schedule this again so we can come see you guys. Hopefully it'll be on Christmas or around there, and say your thing, James.
For sure.
Unless you say your
like
thing.
a candle in the wind, lights like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we are out. A rato. All right, you guys have a good one. And we're out.